David Benavidez has been trying to get Canelo Alvarez in the ring with him, and Canelo has confronted David about the fight. David Benavidez definitely thinks that it would taint Canelo's legacy if he decides to retire before fighting David. David stated, "When the Canelo fight happens, that's great, but I'm already headlining my own pay-per-views without him, and I'll be ready for him when it does happen. I think it would affect his legacy. I don't think Canelo will retire without fighting me. He takes challenges, he's a warrior. So I think the fight is going to happen when he wants it to happen." Abner Mares definitely thinks that David Benavidez should be Canelo's last fight. Mares stated, "Canelo should wait for Benavidez for his last fight. His next fight, who knows? Maybe the other brother, and then at the very end, Benavidez. Definitely not now." When the potential fight was brought up, Canelo said that it was definitely a possibility, and he thought that David talked too much.
But I would love for you to knock out David Benavidez. Do you think that'll happen in the future?
Yeah, why not? Maybe
Yes.
happen in the future. Why not? The
He
fight
talks
is there.
too much, though.
Yeah, talk too much. That's not the way to make a fight. That's why I don't pay attention.
Right.
I do my things and just watch my career and watch his career. I think it's not, for me, it's not pay attention to that things. I done a lot of things in boxing.
Eddie Hearn definitely thinks that Canelo should be next for Benavidez after David fights Demetrius Andrade. Eddie stated, "When you look at Canelo, you have to look at where the real challenges are coming from. Benavidez against Andrade is a good fight. I expect Benavidez to stop Demetrius Andrade, and when he does, I think he's going to make a real claim to fight Canelo Alvarez, and I think Canelo at that point will take the fight." After seeing Canelo fight Jermell Charlo, Jose Benavidez thinks that Canelo's power is gone. Jose stated, "I was going for Canelo. I wanted him to beat Charlo and look impressive and maybe knock him out in order for him to get all that confidence, and maybe that confidence would make him fight David Benavidez. To me, he looked good. He went in there, condition looked good, but I just think the power's not there anymore. He had a lot of opportunities to finish him, but Charlo was there and he never really got hurt. Yeah, he dropped him, but it was a flash knockdown. He got up no problem and Canelo couldn't finish him." Canelo tried to explain that he's willing to fight anyone, but he also brought up David and his father talking about him.
When I say I don't want to fight Mexican, it's because I represent Mexico. And that's why. But I don't care. I fight anybody. And I fight all my entire life anybody. What do you think? I don't want to fight with Juan Mexico or Benavidez. But look, I hear his dad talking a lot of but look, he's accomplished nothing. One single champion, Anthony Dirrell. Please, don't disrespect myself. Please, guys.
Oscar De La Hoya really thinks that Benavidez would be able to knock Canelo out, and he stated, "I think Benavidez knocks him out. I really do. Benavidez is a monster. Benavidez throws an average of above 55 punches per round. Canelo Charlo, in the first round, they threw one punch combined. So I'm just talking to you as a boxing expert." Tim Bradley really wants to see Canelo move up to face Benavidez, and he stated, "So everybody gotta take a step back, man. Take a step back. We want to see Canelo again. We want to see him against somebody his own size. Somebody that's I'm going to punch back at him. We want to see him against Benavidez. We want to see him against Bivol at 168. We don't want to see you at 175 against Bivol. We want to see you at 168 for all your straps and 168 because obviously when you fought, Bivol was quote-unquote, this is the excuse that everybody makes. Oh, Bivol was too big. He was daring to be great. He went up in the weight class." Steven Espinosa is really happy that Benavidez and Andrade aren't waiting around for their chance at Canelo, and he thinks that the fight will be a great matchup. Espinosa stated, "Benavidez is one of the most exciting fighters in the sport. All action, big puncher. He's stopped 6 of his last 7 opponents. But in Demetrius Andrade, he's got a very worthy opponent. Former Olympian, 2-division world champion, hasn't lost a fight in 15 years. He likes to say he's the most avoided fighter in boxing, but I think both of those guys can make that claim. And what do you do when you have 2 avoided fighters in the sport, and you've got one mega fight lurking? Everybody knows the elephant in the room. Everybody wants the Canelo fight. But what I respect about these two men in this fight is they're not waiting. They're not sitting at home waiting to get a phone call. They're going out and making their case, taking tough fights, taking big challenges, taking risks. But that's what this sport is all about. On November 25th, no one is avoiding anyone. It's a great matchup. Caleb Plant thinks a fight between Benavidez and Canelo would be a great matchup, but he's been in the ring with both and knows who hits harder. Caleb stated, "I mean, they got two different styles. Styles make fights, and it'd be interesting to see. I think Canelo, he got more pop. I'm not saying David doesn't, but Canelo got more pop. David's a bigger guy. He puts more punches together. But you'd really just have to let the bell ring and let those guys up and see how the fight went. They're both really good fighters, so who knows, but I'd be excited to see that." Showbiz, the adult, even called out Canelo for being a bit of a scaredy cat.
I'm not somebody who is trying to prove that Canelo Alvarez is a scaredy cat. I know he's a warrior. He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's one of the greatest fighters today. And what we want is great fights to happen. And if he decides not to fight David Benavidez, we are all upset. So listen, Canelo Alvarez has to fight David Benavidez next. The Bivol fight isn't there. And this is for Mexican Independence Day. Do your #1 priority, and that's to defend yourself as the champion of the world undisputed and take on the ranked #1 Mexican mob.
David Benavidez definitely thinks that Canelo should be stripped of his title if he refuses to fight him next. David stated, "The past 2 years, and I've been doing my job. I've been doing my thing. That's what happens when you're the #1 contender. You fight for the belt, so I think WBC should do the right thing, and if Canelo Alvarez doesn't want to fight, strip him of the title, but like I said, I want to make my own lane." As for Canelo, he says that he's used to people thinking that he's ducking them. Canelo stated, "Everybody says the same thing all my life. When I fight with Austin Trout, they say I'm ducking Trout. When I'm fighting other fighters, they say I'm ducking Gennady Golovkin. I'm ducking Arislan de Lara and everything. Every time I beat every single fighter, they say, okay, I have this other fighter. They find somebody else. I'm ducking nobody. I've been in this position a lot of times, so I just do the fights that I think are best for the fans." According to the WBC, the winner of the Benavidez versus Andrade fight will definitely be fighting Canelo next. Michael Benson tweeted, "The WBC have reiterated that the David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade winner for the WBC interim super middleweight belt on November 25th will be Canelo Alvarez's next WBC mandatory challenger." David Benavidez definitely thinks that he's already going to win the fight against Demetrius Andrade too.
To be honest with you, in preparation for this fight, I'm expecting the hardest fight possible. You know, that's just how I, prepare myself to get myself, ready for this fight. But I feel extremely well for this fight. I've prepared myself very well. I've been training 3 months, sparring 15 rounds, 4 different sparring partners, so I'm 100% ready to go. I do expect to stop him. I've been working extremely hard. My last fight went to distance, so I'm a little upset about that. So this way, we're going to correct the current, and we're going to put it back, and we're going to stop Demetrius Andrade.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.